You already know what it feels like. That moment you wake up in the morning, and before you even open your eyes, there is already this heavy weight sitting on your chest. Not because something terrible happened. Not because there is a crisis. Just because life has quietly piled so many things on top of you that even resting does not feel like rest anymore. You are exhausted in a way that sleep does not fix. You are going through your days doing everything you are supposed to do, checking the boxes, showing up, keeping it together, and yet somehow you feel like you are always one small thing away from completely falling apart. That is not weakness. That is what prolonged, unmanaged daily stress actually does to a person. And the wild part is most people have no idea how deeply it is affecting them until the damage is already done. Researchers have confirmed that chronic low-level stress is one of the most underestimated health threats a person can face. It quietly deteriorates your focus, your energy, your immune system, your sleep quality, and even your relationships. And here is what makes it even more painful. Most people are not dealing with one huge stressor. They are dealing with dozens of tiny ones that have stacked up over time into something that feels completely unmanageable. But what if you did not need a vacation, a major life overhaul, or years of therapy to start feeling genuinely better? What if a few specific small changes, implemented the right way, could create a dramatic shift in how you feel every single day starting almost immediately? That is exactly what we are going to go through today. And before we do, just so you know, we have related programs linked down below in the video description. If you are someone who is serious about not just managing stress but actually transforming the way you experience your daily life, those programs exist for the people who are truly ready to go deeper. Not everyone is at that point yet, and that is completely fine. But if you feel that pull when you get to the end of this video, trust it. Now let us get into it. Picture this. You are standing in your kitchen in the morning, your phone is already buzzing, your mind is already racing through your to-do list. Your coffee is going cold because you forgot you made it, and you have not even technically started your day yet. Sound familiar? This is what researchers call cognitive overload, and it is one of the primary drivers of daily stress. Your brain was never designed to process the volume of information and decisions it is forced to handle in modern life. Every notification, every unread email, every half-finished task living in the back of your mind is pulling on your mental resources constantly. Studies show the average person makes over 35,000 decisions every single day. 35,000. And every single one of them depletes your mental energy whether you realize it or not. So the first small change that creates a massive impact is decision reduction. Not avoidance, reduction. When you deliberately simplify repeating choices in your daily life, you free up enormous amounts of mental energy. Something as small as preparing your clothes the night before, creating a consistent morning routine, or batching similar tasks together during the day removes hundreds of micro-decisions from your mental load. People who have implemented this single shift report feeling noticeably less mentally drained by midday within just a few weeks. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Stress does not just live in your mind, it lives in your body. And your body is constantly sending you signals that most people have been trained to completely ignore. That tension in your shoulders, that shallow breathing you do not even notice anymore, that jaw you clench without realizing it, those are not just quirks, those are your nervous system stuck in a state of chronic activation. The second small change is what neuroscientists call physiological reset practices. And before your eyes glaze over, let me make this incredibly simple. Your nervous system has a built-in reset mechanism. It is your breath. Specifically, extended exhales. When your exhale is longer than your inhale, your nervous system gets a direct signal to shift from threat mode into recovery mode. This is not a theory. This is hardwired biology. Spending just 4 to 5 minutes a day doing slow extended exhale breathing has been shown in controlled studies to lower cortisol levels, reduce heart rate variability, and improve mood within the same session. 4 minutes. That is less time than most people spend scrolling without purpose before they get out of bed. The cost is zero. The impact is immediate. Think about what it would feel like to move through your day without that constant hum of underlying tension. To have conversations without feeling like your patience is running on empty. To finish a work day and still have something left for the people you love. That version of your life is not some distant fantasy. It is genuinely closer than you think. And the path there is built from exactly these kinds of small, consistent shifts. Now let us talk about something most stress management advice completely ignores, and it might be the most important piece of all. Your environment is programming your nervous system constantly. The clutter on your desk, the noise in your space, the brightness of your screens late at night, the disorganization that you walk past every single day telling yourself you will deal with it later. All of it is creating what psychologists call background stress load, a constant low-grade activation of your threat response that you barely notice consciously but that your body is responding to every single moment. The third small change is a deliberate environmental audit. You do not need to redecorate your home or spend any money at all. You simply need to identify the 3 to 5 things in your immediate environment that are creating the most friction and background noise in your nervous system, and eliminate them. Clear the surface you look at most. Remove the item you trip over every morning. Turn off notifications that serve no urgent purpose. Dim your screens after sundown. People who make these environmental adjustments consistently report improvements in their sleep quality within 2 weeks, reduced irritability, and a general sense of having more mental space. Not because their life problems disappeared, but because they stopped draining their nervous system with constant environmental microstressors. Here is the part nobody talks about though. Even when people know what to do, the knowing is not the problem. The doing, the consistency, the building of these things into a life that is already packed, that is where most people get stuck. And that gap between knowing and actually living differently is exactly where the real work happens. If you have ever read a book about stress management, felt completely inspired, and then found yourself exactly where you started 3 weeks later, you already understand what that gap costs you. Not just in stress levels, but in confidence, in your belief that things can actually change for you. And that erosion of belief might be the most painful part of all. Research consistently shows that people who do not just learn stress management strategies, but who build them into structured, supported systems, are exponentially more likely to maintain those changes long term. The structure is not optional. It is the thing that actually makes the difference. The fourth small change is creating what psychologists call implementation intentions. Instead of telling yourself you will do something, you commit to exactly when, where, and how you will do it. Studies show this single shift increases follow-through rates by over 200%. Not because you become a different person, but because your brain treats a specific plan completely differently than a vague intention. The difference between saying I want to feel less stressed and saying every morning at 7:15 before I look at my phone I will spend 4 minutes breathing with extended exhales is the difference between a wish and a result. You deserve actual results, not just more information. Real, felt, lived change in your daily experience. And here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. Every single day that passes without making these shifts is a day of unnecessary depletion, of exhaustion that compounds, of distance growing between you and the version of your life that is actually available to you. That is not meant to make you feel bad. It is meant to make it real. The programs we have linked below in the video description are built specifically for people who are ready to stop being informed and start being transformed. If something in this video resonated with you so deeply that you cannot shake it, that feeling is not an accident. That is clarity. And clarity is rare. Do not let it pass. Everything you need to take the next step is waiting for you in the description right now.